Hey you guys, so this video is pretty much going to be a real chilled, relaxed kind of video because it's on my vlogging channel. So you guys won't see me as like, trying to be so like proper and be so perfect, because we're just gonna chill and relax and just talk and have fun and all that good stuff. So in this video I want to kind of just share with you guys my experience of my first trimester. Right now I'm currently in my second trimester. I am 20 weeks pregnant as we speak right now, and I am super excited. I already know the gender of the baby. However, I'm not going to tell you guys yet because we did have a gender reveal on Sunday, and I pretty much just want to do a vlog, or I want to do a vlog of the gender reveal and also like a gender reveal video. So I'm not going to tell you guys what it is as of right now, but I'm just super excited. Either way it went, I was going to be happy regardless. So super excited to just finally put the final piece to the puzzle as far as just knowing what we're having. So yes, so I mean, I don't have anything written down. I'm just going to kind of freestyle off the top of my head as far as just how everything kind of played out. But it was back in July when I knew I was pregnant, because when we were leaving for St. Thomas, it wasn't time for my cycle to come yet, because typically your cycle is I think 28 days average, or at least mine says 28 days average. So it wasn't time for my cycle to come yet. However, the week before we left to go to St. Thomas, I kept peeing a lot, and I knew it wasn't the kind of pee from drinking too much water, because I mean, I drink a fairly decent amount of water, but not enough to use the bathroom like I was then. And so yeah, so I kept peeing a lot, and I was like, this seems kind of strange, kind of off, but I'm just gonna play it by ear, because it's not time for my cycle to come, so I still have a couple of days or weeks to see what's gonna happen next. So went to St. Thomas, and I just felt really hungry all the time when I was there. And the funny thing was, my grandmother told me, she was like, Saida, like when you were here, you kept eating a lot, like more than usual. And I guess it kind of like sent a red flag like in her mind, like like could she be? But of course, she didn't really like ask me. She just, the thought crossed her mind. So so while we were in St. Thomas, again, I kept having to pee, and then I started to have like really like mild cramps. So it was one of those things where I was like, okay, is this my cycle cramp, or is this my pregnant cramp? Because the cramp started like right before my cycle was supposed to start. So I wasn't really sure which way it was going, but again, I kept peeing a lot. So when we came back from St. Thomas, I was like, Ricky, I'm gonna take a pregnancy test because I'm late. I was actually a day late. And I know typically they always say to like wait a week just to make sure the test is like accurate, but I just knew in my heart that I was. So as soon as we came back from St. Thomas, I went straight to the drugstore and I bought a pregnancy test, and it said, you're pregnant. And and I was just like, wow. Like the first thought that crossed my mind was, wow, okay, let me tell Ricky, and then we'll just kind of go from there. So I told him that I was we're pregnant, I'm pregnant, however you want to say it. I told him that I was pregnant. And his first initial thing that came out his mouth was, okay. And he was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, the test says like I'm pregnant. So he was like, okay, well, we'll just go to the doctor just to kind of get it confirmed. So I was like, okay, fine, cool, whatever. So of course we went to the doctor. It was confirmed that I was pregnant. Super excited. And it's one of those things where people always ask me, was it planned? And I'm gonna get really candid with you guys and kind of personal. But like I tell people, when I hear the word planned, I think of someone who pretty much have their ovulation date in their phone, and they have to make sure they're having sex during that time frame so they can make sure that they're pregnant. That to me is planned. When you just like, okay, like we have to do it now. We wasn't doing that. It was one of those things where we're married, we're not gonna wear a condom, because I mean, again, we are married, so you know, if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. So that was pretty much just our mind frame, was if it happened, cool beans, you know, we're married, we're good financially, so it doesn't matter. And if it doesn't happen, it'll just happen when it's supposed to be. So when people ask me, was it planned, I always tell them no, because to me, planned is just when you're like, okay, we have to do it now. And that's it. That just wasn't the case with us. We were just living our lives like two young adults. So in case anybody wanted to ask me that question too, that's the answer. No, it was not planned in that aspect. However, we weren't preventing it either from happening. So it is what it is. But anyways, like I said, we found out it was pregnant. So I told my mom, he told his mom. Of course, they're excited because, you know, they get to be grandparents, and they're already grandparents, but just to be a grandparent again is like the best feeling ever. And of course, I told like my brother and a few of my friends, but I didn't want to like announce it because, you know, during your first trimester, you want to kind of make sure that you make it safely to your second trimester. So we just kept it pretty close knit to like immediate family and like really, really, really close friends, like best friend level. So we didn't really like tell the whole wide world. But I will say that I didn't have any morning sickness during my first trimester. I don't know how I got so lucky. I did have a few days where I felt really nauseous, but nothing that ever made me throw up. It was more so of, oh my god, I feel kind of nauseous, but eventually the feeling went away. So I got super lucky in that aspect, because I know people who have really bad morning sickness, and I'm just the kind of person, I do not like throwing up. And that was my biggest fear and concern, was, oh my god, am I gonna have morning sickness? If I do, is it gonna last me the entire first trimester? Because I hate throwing up, I hate feeling sick. And you know, I don't want to go to work if I feel sick or nauseous, or if I'm throwing up. Like, I just don't want to. So luckily that was not the case with me. I can honestly count on my hands how many times I threw up, which was 3 times. And the first time was because I was going to work and I didn't eat anything before I left the house. So I swung by McDonald's to grab some chicken nuggets and french fries. I went to work, I ate it, and like 10 minutes later I threw it all back up. So clearly the baby was not a fan of me eating McDonald's. So I haven't eaten McDonald's since then. And then the next time I threw up, I forgot what it was, but honestly I only threw up like 3 times throughout my first trimester, and I am so grateful for it, because I could not survive that. And then as far as like body changes, so before I was pregnant, naturally I am a 32 triple D. So I felt my breasts getting bigger, and again, I'm being candid, I felt my breasts or boobs getting bigger, and I was like, oh my god, like I cannot see myself getting any bigger than a 32 triple D, because I'm already a small girl. Number one, like I wear a size 3 pants, I wear medium tops, sometimes with small, depending on, you know, how the shirt fit. So I already have 32 triple Ds on top of my chest, and for me to get any bigger would just be insane. But of course I got bigger, and my little 32 triple D bras, they're not even fitting me anymore. Like it's pretty much cutting me close towards my nipples. So I had to just sit those to the side and get 2 bras from Target, which are so hideous and so ugly, but it is what it is. I have to make sure my girls are covered at all times. So I just bought one black, one nude, but I will say the bras are pretty comfortable. However, I just don't think the support in the bra is there like I would like it to be, because I mean, I have big boobs. So with that being said, with my boobs growing, my back was hurting me a lot during the first trimester, because again, I'm a really small girl. So if you take a small person and add these massive things on top of already massive things, it's not gonna balance out too well. So I did have really like bad back pains, and my boobs were hurting me so bad. Like I wore a bra to sleep every single night, and typically, you know, I don't wear a bra when I'm sleeping. I just go to bed in a nightshirt and be, you know, I'm done with it. But I had to wear a bra to keep it like supported, because if I didn't, it would hurt so bad. So I did have really bad back pains, and I had to pee a lot during my first trimester. I kept waking up in the middle of the night. I kept going to the bathroom like every 5 seconds at work, and I was just like, you know what, this is just getting out of control. I might as well just stay in the bathroom, because clearly I can't seem to leave this bathroom because I always have to pee. So that was just pretty much just what that looked like for my first trimester, as far as like symptoms or changes. I really was tired a lot the first trimester, and I try to make sure I eat fruits and veggies and salads, and I drank my water, and I limited like my juice intake, my soda intake pretty much like went out the window. So I tried to do all those things to just make sure I was keeping myself healthy and hydrated, but I was still so tired during that first trimester. I would come home from work and I would just sprawl out across the couch and just go to sleep, because like my body was just physically tired from being at work for 9 hours. And you guys know I work in retail, so I'm pretty much on my feet all day long. So I was just physically drained, and to have to come home and film YouTube videos on top of it, it was just not happening for me. And there were days when I wanted to film, like, okay, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna film at least one video, and then, you know, it is what it is. But I just physically could not do it. Even like on my off days, I just wanted to stay in the bed and just rest. Like, I just felt like I had no control over my body as far as how exhausted I felt. So that's why you guys didn't really see me for a while that first trimester, because I truly was just tired. And another thing that happened during the first trimester was, it was one night, one afternoon I was at work, and I was leaving work and I went to the movies with my mom. So we went to the movies, and I felt these really like bad cramps. And I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I'm having these really bad cramps. Maybe it's because I didn't eat anything. So let's go get something, you know, something to eat after we leave the movies. So we went to Red Lobster, and the cramps would not go away. So I came home, and she came home with me because she was spending the night. And Ricky typically works like evening shifts, so our schedules are pretty much opposite. So that particular night he was at work, but luckily my mom was here with me. So she spent the night, and I was in my room, and I could not sleep that night because I was having these really bad cramps, to the point where mentally I was freaking out, because in my mind I was thinking like, am I having a miscarriage? Like, what's going on? I didn't want to like freak my mom out, so I just pretty much like just stayed in the bed, and I was just cramping so bad. And when I tell you guys, it wasn't like, oh, she's cramping. Think of menstrual cramps times 100. Like, if you have really bad menstrual cramps, think of that times 100. But I was really trying to tough it out, because I knew if I went to the hospital, it was almost like confirming in my mind that I was having a miscarriage. But the only thing that kept me somewhat sane was because I never bled. So the entire time I was cramping, I never bled, spotted, anything like that. So as soon as Ricky came home from work that morning, I was like, Ricky, we have to go to the hospital because I do not feel good. I'm cramping really bad. And I really thought the cramps would have stopped eventually. You guys, the cramps never stopped. Like, throughout the entire night, like the entire night going into the morning, I just kept cramping, and it would not stop. So when he came home, we went to the hospital, and of course they took my blood. They did all these different tests, and I was in a room literally in tears, like tears coming out of my eyes, because they kept doing all these different tests, taking my blood. They did an ultrasound, but nobody would tell me anything, and the cramps were just like coming. And I was like, can you guys please give me something for these cramps? Like, just give me something for these cramps, because I'm so uncomfortable. I can't take it anymore. You know, I'm already like frustrated because I don't know what's going on. And then when they did the ultrasound, they didn't have the screen facing towards me, so I really couldn't like see anything. I couldn't hear anything. So I was really frustrated emotionally, and just like physically I was just so tired and just so ready for the pain to just stop. So they gave me some freaking baby Tylenols, like the low level milligram Tylenols that did not do anything. And I know you're not supposed to take anything while you're pregnant, like, you guys, I get it, but the level of pain I was in, listen, those Tylenols just irritated me on a whole nother level, because I kind of felt like they just wasted their time, they wasted my time with even taking these stupid ass damn baby Tylenols. So eventually, like, the nurse came in and they finally gave me my results, and she was just so calmly as ever. She was like, oh, it's just your fibroids. I was like, excuse me? My what? What? So yes, I have fibroids. I have 2 fibroids. One, I don't know if the positions have changed since my first trimester, but I know during my first trimester I had one on the left, one on the right, and then the one on the left was 4.5 centimeters and the one on the right was 5 centimeters. And I also have a cyst on my right ovary. So I was very surprised, but like I said, all calmly, she's like, oh, it's just your fibroids. And I was like freaking out, because first of all, I didn't know I had fibroids, and my mom had fibroids when I was in middle school, so I'm not surprised as far as like me having it, or I'm not surprised as to what it is. I just didn't know that I had it. And it was causing me so much pain. And in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, am I going to have to deal with this my entire pregnancy? Because if I have to, it's going to be a problem, because you guys, it hurts so bad. So she wrote me a note to be on bed rest for 2 days. So I didn't go to work for 2 days, which I'm so thankful for, because that incident happened on a Sunday with me going to the hospital, because it started on Saturday. So that Sunday I went to the hospital. So she excused me from work for Sunday and for Monday. And my mom, again, because she lives so, she works so close to where I live, she stayed with me again at night. And I felt like a vegetable who could not do anything for herself. Like, I was on the couch cramping my ass off, and it would not stop. And you know, my mom fed me soup. She gave me some hot water, not hot water, some hot tea. She was just trying to do everything she could to just make me comfortable as possible. And you guys, I was hurting so bad, because I just didn't know what to do to make it stop, and I did not know how long it would last. So mentally, I was just not even there. And you know, I didn't go to work that Monday, and then I remember that Monday I had to go to the bathroom really bad, and I was just hurting so bad to the point where I couldn't even walk. And I literally had to like crawl on the floor to the bathroom, and I was just in tears crawling to the bathroom. And I was like, Mom, like, I just cannot do this. Like, it hurts so bad. It even hurt to move. Like, I'm so tired, because I didn't get any sleep on Saturday. I didn't get any sleep on Sunday. I'm on the floor crawling to the bathroom on Monday, and I have to go back to work on Tuesday. So I was just like freaking out, because in my mind, I'm like, how can I go back to work on Tuesday? Like, I can barely even freaking walk right now. So anyways, went to the bathroom, and then we eventually just went back to the couch and I just got some rest. So Tuesday I went to work. I could not even drive myself to work, so Ricky drove me to work, and I didn't have a choice but to tell my store manager, like, hey, you know, I'm pregnant, this is what's going on, because I did miss 2 days of work. So I had to tell her earlier than I wanted to, because I didn't want to tell her until like my second trimester, once I was in the clear. But I told her earlier than I wanted to. So just kind of like, you know, hey, I'm pregnant, this is what's going on. And she was so sweet. She was like, Saida, you could have just told me, you know, like yesterday, and I'd have given you today off since you have PTO days to use. But at that moment, I wasn't really like thinking about that. I just wanted to just go to work and get it over with. So she was like, you know, if you have to leave early, just let me know. So I was at work, and I told myself, I said, Saida, you cannot let these cramps defeat you or make you feel weak. You have to push through. So I was at work, and you guys, I was hurting so bad, but I was like, push through. Like, you will know when you can't go anymore. And eventually I was like, I have to go home. I think I had like an hour left in my shift, and I was like, I have to go home an hour early. I just can't do it anymore. Like, I'm hurting really bad. So she said, that's fine. And my mom came and she took me home, and Wednesday it got a little bit better, but it still hurting Wednesday, but it got a little bit better. And then Thursday a little bit better, and by Friday and Saturday I was pretty much like back to normal. So that's another reason why I did not film that time frame in my first trimester, because that whole situation was going on, and you guys, it was just the worst experience of life. And I think, even though I feel like my first trimester was such a breeze, that incident pretty much made up for me not having morning sickness. It made up for me not having to go through all these different things people go through, because that pretty much took the freaking cake for my first trimester experience. Because if that incident never happened, I could honestly sit here and tell you guys that my first trimester was the best trimester ever. But since that incident happened, no, it was not the move. It was not fun. It was not pleasant. And all these different things was going through my mind of, why do people put themselves through this? Like, I was having so much negative thoughts in my mind, when I should just be thinking to myself, like, Saida, be happy that you're even pregnant, be happy that your baby is safe and you're fine. But I was just in so much pain, you guys, that I was so miserable. Like, I felt so miserable, and I was so scared. And you know, my mind was just wondering, like, is this gonna ever happen to me again? Because I still have my second and third trimester to go through. So I didn't know what to expect moving forward. But besides that, you guys, my first trimester was good. I'm here again in my second trimester, and you know, I'm feeling great. I don't think I'm leaving anything out. If I am, just leave me questions below, or I'll just add whatever I'm missing out in the comment section, not comment section, the description box below. But yes, you guys, that's pretty much my first trimester. Again, it was pretty, you know, it's pretty cool. I'm here and I'm good. So yes, I guess I'll show you guys my little baby bump. You guys can see, like, my boobs are huge. Like, look at that. Like, my boobs are huge. But anyways, let me show you my baby bump. All right, you guys, so here is my baby bump. I have on all black so I can look a little bit slimmer. But yeah, this is to the front. Like, oh my god, you guys, so I initially have an innie. My innie is now an outie. Like, it's insane. But yeah, see, a little baby bump. And again, my innie is now an outie. But yes, you guys, that's pretty much it. I'm sorry if it was like all over the place. I was trying to think of everything because the first trimester seems so far away, but that's pretty much everything I have to say. If you guys are mommies or mommies to be, leave me your first trimester experience in the comment section below. I would love to see, or just kind of hear what you guys went through. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my first trimester experience, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.